Let me ask you something, and don't answer it out loud. Just answer it honestly inside your chest. When was the last time you scared yourself with how hard you were willing to push? Not when you were motivated, not when you felt inspired, but when it was boring, when it was lonely, when nobody was watching. Because right now, somewhere between where you are and where you say you want to be, there's a gap, and that gap is filled with average thinking. Average goals, average effort, average excuses, average standards, and average thinking always leads to average results. Pause. You don't end up average by accident. You train yourself into it. You wake up, you do just enough, you scroll a little longer. You delay one more day. You tell yourself, I'll get serious tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year. And one day you wake up older, tired, and quietly disappointed with yourself. Not because you failed, but because you never fully tried. That pain hits different because deep down, you know you were capable of more. Pause. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they aim too low and hit it. They don't ruin their lives in one dramatic decision. They ruin it slowly, with comfort, with excuses that sound reasonable, with habits that feel harmless. I'm just tired today. I deserve a break. I'll start when things calm down. I'm not ready yet. Average thinking. And the scary part? It sounds responsible. It sounds normal. It sounds like everyone else. But normal is exactly the problem. Look around. Normal is stressed. Normal is broke. Normal is unfulfilled. Normal is dreaming without doing. So if your thinking looks like everyone else's, your results will too. Pause. Let's talk about pain. Real pain. The pain of knowing you're underperforming. The pain of watching others pass you by. The pain of making excuses you don't even believe anymore. That quiet moment at night when the phone is off and the noise fades. That's when it hits. I should be further by now. You don't say it out loud. You don't post about it, but it sits heavy in your chest. That's not laziness. That's regret knocking early. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You are not stuck. You are comfortable. Comfortable with average thinking, comfortable with familiar limits, comfortable with doing what you've always done, and comfort will rob you blind while whispering, you're fine. Pause. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who woke up every morning at 6 a.m. Same routine, same coffee, same drive, same job. He hated it. Not loudly, quietly. He complained just enough to feel justified, but never enough to actually change. Years passed, he watched motivational videos, read books, talked about one day, but when it came time to do the work, real work, uncomfortable work, he chose average. One night after another long day, he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back, not because of wrinkles, but because of surrender. He hadn't lost his potential. He had negotiated with it. That's what average thinking does. It doesn't attack you. It slowly convinces you to settle. Pause. Transformation doesn't start with motivation. Motivation is emotion. It's temporary. It comes and goes. Transformation starts with standards. What you tolerate, what you allow, what you accept from yourself when nobody else is judging. Average thinkers ask, what's the minimum I can do? High performers ask, what does this version of me demand? Different questions, different lives. Pause. Let's be real. Discipline is lonely. Consistency is boring. Excellence is repetitive. Nobody claps when you wake up early. Nobody cheers when you say no. Nobody sees the nights you push through fatigue with nothing but self-respect on the line. That's why most people quit. They want results with witnesses. They want progress with applause. They want success without sacrifice. That's average thinking. Extraordinary results come from unseen work. Doing it when you don't feel like it. Doing it when it's inconvenient. Doing it when the voice in your head says, skip today. Show up when you're tired. Show up when you're bored. Show up when you're doubting yourself, because that's when it counts. Pause. Let me say this clearly. No one is coming to save you, not your friends, not your family, not motivation, not luck. If your life is going to change, it will be because you changed how you think. Average thinking waits for permission. High-level thinking takes ownership. Average thinking says, that's just how I am. High-level thinking says, that's who I've been, not who I'm becoming. Average thinking avoids discomfort. High-level thinking understands discomfort is the price. Pause. You don't need more information. You need more standards. You don't need another video. You need another level of honesty with yourself. Because deep down, you already know what to do. You know the habits you're avoiding. You know the discipline you're resisting. You know the version of you that you keep postponing. And every day you delay, you vote for average. Pause. Here's the wake-up call. If you keep thinking the same way, you will be in the same place next year. Same excuses, same frustrations, same conversations, worse. You'll be better at explaining why nothing changed. And explanations don't build lives, actions do. Brutal truth? Your potential does not care about your feelings. Your future does not negotiate. Time does not wait. Average thinking feels safe until it costs you everything you could have been. Pause. So here's what you do. You simplify. You stop trying to overhaul your life and start dominating your days. You wake up earlier. Not because it's easy, but because it builds respect. You do the hardest task first. Before excuses wake up, you eliminate one distraction at a time, not forever, just for now. You keep promises to yourself, especially the small ones, because confidence isn't built by hype. It's built by proof. Proof that you do what you say even when it's uncomfortable. Pause. You raise your standards. You stop asking, is this enough? And start asking, is this who I want to be? You stop waiting to feel ready. You move while afraid. You stop negotiating with weakness. You starve it. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. Average people do intense things occasionally. High performers do simple things daily. Pause and listen closely now. The gap between average and exceptional is not talent. It's not luck. It's not background. It's thinking. How you talk to yourself. What you tolerate. What you demand when no one is watching. Change your thinking, and your actions will follow. Change your actions, and your life has no choice but to change. Pause. There will be days you want to quit, days you feel behind, days you feel invisible. Do it anyway. Do it when you're tired. Do it when you're doubting. Do it when progress feels slow. Show up when it's silent. Show up when it's lonely. Show up when average would quit. Because one day, all those invisible days stack up, and people will call you lucky. They won't see the mornings. They won't see the discipline. They won't see the battles in your head. But you'll know, pause, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now, decide that average thinking no longer gets a vote. Decide that comfort no longer controls you. Decide that your standards rise today, even if your circumstances don't. Because the life you want is built by the thoughts you choose and the actions you repeat. Average thinking leads to average results. And you were never meant to be average. Pause, stand up, lock in, and become the person your future self is praying you don't quit on today.